Welcome to our 6 Moon ADC travel backpack review. In this video, we're gonna break this bag down. I'm talking pros, I'm talking cons. Super comfortable harness system, full clamshell style opening. No real padding in that section. The angle situation, not my favorite. And if you stick around to the end, if this is not the bag for you, we're gonna come back to the bag rack and I'll make some alternative travel bag recommendations that might better suit your needs. But first things first, let's take this over to the review table. Follow me. All right, let's start off by talking about the gist of the 6 Moon Designs all-day carry travel backpack. And let's hit the nail on the head real fast. It should be noted this is a sponsored review, but it just means that 6 Moon Design got to skip the line because we have so many backpacks here. We're like 6 months behind. So instead of waiting 6 months, they're like, hey, we would like a review now. And I guarantee when you watch this review, you'll see that it's very fair, as my goal isn't to sell you this backpack, it's to make sure you find the best backpack for your needs. And it might not be this, but it also might. 6 Moon Designs is an American carry brand that launched in 2002, so they've been around for a while. And they're known for making sort of old school hiker travel bags. But as you'll see with the ADC, they use a lot of modern design and features. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. Some of this bag's top features being a super comfortable harness system, a removable hip belt that has quick access pockets, the ability to adjust the placement of the shoulder straps from this back panel, and I'll show you how that works 2 sections from now. We've got one side water bottle holder, one side trekking pole holder, a well-organized front admin compartment, and full clamshell style opening. The ADC travel backpack comes in 2 sizes. This is a 35 liter, but it also comes in a 45 liter. The bag comes in multiple color options and multiple material options. This version is the ultra fabric version, which I'm gonna talk about a bit more in depth in the next section. The 35 liters dimensions are 21 inches tall, about 13 inches wide, and a depth of just under 5 inches. On the website, it says this bag weighs 2.5 pounds, which seems pretty light. All right, I'm getting a pretty impressive 2.8 pounds, which is great for a 35 liter. And let's see without the hip belt. Yeah, I'm getting 2.4 pounds without the hip belt. That is pretty impressive for a 35 liter. This is the ADC travel backpack when it's empty. This is the bag when it's fully packed out and worn on me, I'm 5'8". And this is the bag when it's fully packed out and worn on our media manager, Margaret, who's 5'2". But don't worry, we're gonna pack out this bag throughout the entire review so you can see exactly what it fits. All 6 Moon products are backed by their warranty for the original owner against defects in materials and workmanship. And for all that, the bag runs a few different prices. It depends on the size and the material you choose. And that'll range from anywhere from 275 USD to 450 USD. And the Ultra fabric is definitely the most expensive. This 35 liter in Ultra is actually around 435 USD. So it's not cheap. In Ultra, the nylon's cheaper, but we're gonna break the whole bag down so you can see why they're charging that price point. And if at any point in this review you're thinking to yourself, take me to the moon, fly me to the moon, I want that travel bag, and you're gonna make a purchase, we do ask that you do so using the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. But that link also helps to support the Nomadization YouTube channel and team so we can keep making the best bag reviews on the web. Thank you very much. Okay, let's talk about the front of the 6 Moon Designs ADC travel backpack. First up, let's talk about the aesthetic, because I would definitely say it's not the sexiest, most modern aesthetic. That's not what they're going for. It's got that classic hiker vibe. It's got more of a square shape, which provides a lot of functionality because you can fit more stuff in the corners, right? 6 Moon's branding is pretty big, but at least on the Ultra version, it's black on black, which gives it a little subtlety. But let's quickly talk about materials. Now this fabric, this primary fabric right here is Ultra, which in the carry community is all the rage right now. Because it's the evolution of X-Pack. X-Pack was all the rage, and it still is. But now people are moving to Ultra because like X-Pack, Ultra is extremely weather resistant, but it's a lighter version. It's a highly technical, highly durable fabric. But not everybody loves the aesthetic because you do have a lot of these lines in it, which gives it that sort of technical look. And it has sort of a creasy wrinkliness to it, which again, you're either gonna love or just hate. For me, I'm not gonna lie, it's not my cup of tea, but it's also kind of growing on me just because I know how badass and technical of a fabric it actually is. Yeah, dude, looking at it with a microscope, it's just really interesting when you get in there. It's just sort of like the evolution of X-Pack. But the good news is that if you love classic X-Pack, this bag comes in EPX, and there's also a nylon version as well, which is at a much cheaper price point, almost $200 cheaper. Now next up, let's talk about the stash pocket, right? This kangaroo pouch, I think it could be referred to as, because I quite like it. It's really cool, mainly because I love this fabric. It's got a cool design, interesting to look at. It's elastic, it's got some flexibility to it. This is a great pocket to store things that you want quicker access to. You don't want to bury it in your pack. For me, a good spot for a sweater. You can throw a book in there. And it's just one of those things that just gives you extra capacity in those times when you need it, right? When the bag's full and you're going to the airport, you're going home after your month-long trip, and you're like, I want to grab some souvenirs from the airport, but there's no more space in my backpack. That's right, I got the kangaroo pouch. You can clip the kangaroo pouch in here to secure it. But one thing to note is that if you ever do get caught in a storm, whatever's in there is going to get annihilated by water. Then from there, we have the quick access front pocket. This pocket goes down to about here, so it's a pretty decent amount of real estate you're dealing with. In the pocket, we have no additional organization, just a little external lash point right here. Good spot to clip your keys onto. And for me, due to the size and quick access nature of a pocket like this, I think it's the perfect spot for my over-the-head headphones. These are the Sony XM-H5s. I cannot travel or really live without them anymore. I used to be an AirPods guy. Those days are over. These things are amazing, and it's a perfect fit right there. Should be noted too that this zipper is YKK and PU coated, providing extra weather resistance. YKK also makes the best zippers. Simple zipper puller, gets the job done. Let's talk about the last part of the front, which is this front admin panel right here. Now, one thing to note is my big bulky headphones are sort of compromising the ability to open this panel, so I'm gonna take them out just for the sake of the presentation. Again, access to this compartment is protected with YKK PU-coated zippers, and these are lockable. You can put a little lock right in between them there. And then inside we have an organizational awesomeness type situation. And one thing to note is this front admin compartment has a lot of capacity to it, as to where it actually runs the entire depth of the bag, and it also has some pretty epic expansion. I'll show you what I mean in a sec. At the top, we have 1, 2 pen pockets, a zippered pocket, 1, 2, 3, 4 lining pockets, and 1, 2, 3, 4 mesh pockets, and then a bunch of space at the bottom. Let's pack it out so you can get a feel for it. So at the north part of this compartment, it's really gonna be for your smaller bits of gear, right? So I got my Magic Mouse. I'm gonna throw my hard drive in the zippered pocket, pens in the pen slots, my Zinn tin, tape measure, because why not? Never know. Shades. And then for the mesh pockets, AirPods, tissues. I'm gonna throw my passport-sized notebook also in the zippered pocket here. You can see it's sort of a organizational galore. For me, I've kind of fallen away from admin compartments like this in a travel backpack. I used to love it, but now I usually do like my big old backpack on my back and then like a sling in the front that has a lot of this stuff. But what about you? Tell me your thoughts. Do you like a front admin compartment like this where you can organize all your stuff, or you just prefer like more like a big old candy of a backpack that you can just shove your crap in? Let me know in the comments below. And now that the little stuff is taken care of, I just wanna showcase the capacity of this compartment, because you can also throw tech pouches in the bottom. I got Air and Evergoods tech pouches and a sweater, and like you can fit like a ton in this pocket. And it should be noted, like keep that in mind, because when we go to the main compartment, it might feel a little tight for a 35 liter. This main compartment is probably 10, if not more liters of the capacity of this actual bag. All right, moving on, let's talk about the middle of the 6 Moon Designs ADC travel backpack. Because this is where the bag starts to open up, we get some really interesting features, many of which I'm a fan of. Starting with the water bottle pocket, because it looks super skinny. This is the actual water bottle pocket right there, but they design it in a really cool way, because it has this expansion on the side. And yeah, let's kind of test out how big of a water bottle it can fit. This is my 22 ounce Earthwell. Are you 22 ounce? Yeah. Super skinny. This one will fit. Piece of cake, right? Bada bing, bada boom. No problems there. 24 ounce Columbia, a bit chunkier. Again, no problemo. But now for the final test, the 1 liter insulated Yeti. You think it's gonna fit, Margaret? She does? Okay. Oh, it's a tight fit, but it's as big as it's gonna get, but it absolutely fits. It's a pretty epic water bottle holder. You got the elasticity right here, just to help bigger bottles fit. And this is a really just cool water bottle holder. It gets the job done. It's versatile, while also being flush to the bag when you're not using it. And what's cool is you got this little guy, which is a little like securing feature mechanism lash point thing. And you can go ahead, whip it around, clip it on here, and tighten it. And now your water bottle is extra secure. Big fan of that. The whole thing, the whole execution, that's just great. Flipping it over, we have a side handle, pretty well padded, nylon webbing. It's not the beefiest handle I've seen on a pack this size, but it gets the job done. And then below it, we have the trekking pole holder. And I don't know about you, but I don't travel with a trekking pole. But this is like 6 Moon's whole like bag, right? That's their bag, baby. But that's their thing, is like they like this crossover between hikers and travelers. This bag, I assume, would be great on a trail. So I don't use a trekking pole, but I do have a little, travel umbrella, and it is a perfect fit for that. Easily accessible, low key, out of the way. A feature that I never thought that I would like, but I kind of actually like it. Also, 6moon has these accessories, external lash points, right? So you can go ahead and pop them onto different locations of the bag. So for instance, right here, let's say you were traveling with a larger or longer tripod, you know, it stuck out. You can then have this lash point just to give it a little extra security and keep it in place. And then yeah, let's get into the main compartment. Again, we got two YKK lockable PU coated zippers. And a little pull tab right here, just to give you a little bit of leverage. It makes it easier to open the compartment. And we are full freaking clamshell opening. In my opinion, clamshell opening is crucial for a modern travel backpack. It just gives you such quick access to all your stuff, especially since you got a bunch of clothes and packing cubes. Clamshell is always the way to go. In the main compartment, we have 2 zippered mesh compartments. And then on this side, no additional organization, but we do have the internal compression straps. And there is a zipper here, but this just gets you into the back panel. Fun fact, sometimes bag companies have to do this because it's the only way to get the back panel in with the design of the backpack. Making a backpack is really complicated, so just trust me. Sometimes I just gotta do this. Let's pack it out. All right, so we're gonna pack this out with a bunch of travel stuff. Got a big old Peak Design regular packing cube, Air small packing cube, Evergood's Cap 2 pouch right there. Let's test out these compression straps. I'm usually not a big compression strap guy, just solely out of laziness. No principle behind it, minus my principle of just being lazy. For the sake of this demonstration, we gotta cover all our angles, right? Let me know in the comments below, like, do you use compression straps or do you subscribe to a similar value of laziness when you're traveling, such as I do? All right, those are now in place with the compression straps. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a sling on top when I get to my destination, something with a sweater. And then on the flip side, we can throw my modern Dayfarer tech pouch. I think it'll fit, nice. As well as a laptop power bank. On the other side, I got a packable tote, some light reading, and adapter. I do not know if this bag will close. I'm sure it will. Let's give it a little test run. Oh yeah, this thing don't mess around. And this is a great thing with these old school type travel bags. Like, it's not old school in a bad way, just like, you know, it takes a lot of heritage design. And with it, they're kind of like, yo dude, we don't need all the bells and whistles. We just want to make you a backpack that works and that can fit a ton of stuff. And I am packing this to its full extent, more than I thought it could fit, and it's absolutely making the cut. Pretty enthused by this bag so far, but will I be as enthused by the back of the bag? And real fast, if you're like watching this video and you're like, dude, this dude's cooking. We're getting deep into backpacks right now, and I freaking love it. Then you might be smitten to find out that here at Nomads Nation, we don't just have a YouTube channel, but we also have an epic newsletter. In that newsletter, I take you deep into the world of bags and the carry community and let you know what's happening. I'm talking like the latest releases, limited edition drops, collaborations, new releases from the biggest brands and the smallest brands and everything in between. So if you want an insider look into this awesome world of bags, there's so many cool freaking things that's happening right now, and you want me to be like your reporter in the field, then be sure to sign up to the Nomads Nation newsletter by finding this globe emoji in the description below. It's sent out weekly. We also do all our giveaways there. It's freaking awesome, really proud of it, and hope to see you in your inbox. Okay, back to this guy. Let's talk about the back of the 6moon Designs ADC travel backpack. And strap in, because there's a bit to talk about here. First up, a top handle. Not gonna lie, I'm not a fan. I understand with the clamshell style opening, they couldn't really put a handle center here, but this one's just like really basic of the basicest of nylon webbing. No padding, just seems like an afterthought to me. At this price point, I would have liked something maybe a little bit more refined. And then below the handle, we have this compartment right here, which I believe is the laptop compartment. It's got some pros and some cons to it. Real fast, my 13-inch MacBook Pro does fit. But like with the structure of this compartment, like there's a lot of interference from the main compartment. The stuff that's in there is kind of pushing up. So like I gotta really finagle, like kind of move my laptop around to get it in. Definitely gonna wanna put the laptop in when the bag's not full, which is common for a lot of travel backpacks, let's be honest. The more packed out a bag is, the harder it is to slide a laptop into the sleeve. So the good side, when you do get your laptop in, there is a pretty hefty false bottom, like really hefty. Like the falsest the bottoms I've ever seen. It like stops right here. You got a good like 3 inches, which is great because it means if you drop your bag, the laptop's less likely to get hurt, destroyed potentially, from that impact. So that's good. But what's not as good is just the lack of sort of padding with the laptop compartment in general. Like, you hear this? That's my laptop. So it's super well padded on the back panel here, but this part is like, I mean, that's my finger, like fingers are touching right now. There's no real padding in that section, which means if you did want to put your laptop in this bag, I'd recommend doing so with an extra layer of protection on that laptop, double wrapping. Let's test also if a 16-inch can fit. This is our 3D print of a 16-inch MacBook Pro, and a little tight, but I think, yeah, that works. Yeah, overall, I would say this is definitely not the best laptop compartment I've ever reviewed in a travel bag. But But while I'm not as stoked about the tech compartment of this bag, I am more stoked on the comfort. Because to me, it's the number one most important thing for a travel bag, right? Especially one this size, because it's huge. And like you're sometimes walking through airports for a long time, right? Getting to your gate and getting through security and going to the restaurant, all these different things. It's a lot of weight in your bag, so like comfort is crucial to me. And this bag does it right, because we have load lifters at the top, the ability to adjust the shoulder straps that are thick, pretty beefy and well padded, a sternum strap, and the removable hip belt. Let's sort of go through them bit by bit. Load lifters are great because when you pull on them, it helps to redistribute the weight from your lower back to your torso. Crucial on a bag this size. The ability to adjust the positioning of the shoulder straps, also pretty freaking awesome. Done via Velcro, and you can go ahead and find the setting that best fits your body. Also, fun fact, the shoulder straps come in two different sizes, small and large. I got the large. The shoulder straps themselves have some decent padding to it. It is a little on the dense side, not quite as cushiony. Sometimes I like a little bit of bounce, a little bit of rebound on my shoulder straps. These are definitely denser, but well padded, and as you can see right here, very well ventilated. Sternum strap supports the load lifters, same thing, redistributing the weight. And this sternum strap gives you the ability to craft a catchy tune. The sternum strap is also adjustable, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different points, and completely removable if you prefer not to have a sternum strap. Now let's talk about these two pockets, because they're kind of cool. And the combination of these two pockets on the shoulder straps and these two pockets on the hip belt equals, like I said, I like to travel with a sling and a backpack, but you don't really need to with this bag because you kind of got 4 mini slings. Like right there. These top pockets are large enough for a phone, iPhone 13, and you got this little fastener so you can go ahead and keep that nice and safe and super accessible. Not gonna lie, like they're kind of loud, like they're in your eyesight, and it's just a different experience with the backpack. But that quick access and the ability just to kind of take your phone out of your pocket and to put it right there feels pretty cool. At the bottom of the shoulder straps, we got a pretty basic nylon webbing. Thumb loops here make it easier to loosen and tighten your shoulder straps. And thank God we have a dangle stopper right here, AKA web holder. But unfortunately, I can't say the same for the rest of the bag. Because look at here when the hip belt is attached, and look at the dangle party that's happening. Not my favorite kind of party. Gonna go ahead and say it. Now, I'm a smaller dude, I'm 5'8". So like, I gotta pull all these like super tight to get around my ectomorph body, which means it's more likely that I have that excess dangle flying around. But definitely one of the bigger cons for the user experience of this bag for me will be all that excess dangle, especially on the hip belt, which we'll talk about in a second. And finally, for the shoulder straps, one great thing in traveling is, especially if you're one bag traveling, you wanna throw the bag underneath the seat in front of you, right? And shoulder straps are like getting in the way and they're catching on things. So the ability to stow away the shoulder straps is awesome because it's a nice clean sort of whoosh. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? And this is the most interesting shoulder strap stowage system I've ever seen. Not the best, but not the worst. You just go ahead and unzip this little extra fabric. Then you pull it over, and in real time, you just clip the zip in, zip it on up. And now the shoulder strap is very stowed. You have been stowed. Like I said, not the cleanest system that I've seen, but it does get the job done. And it is innovative in its own way. Back panel gives you pretty decent ventilation. You can see all those little holes in the back panel. All those that help you breathe, baby. Help that back breathe. And with the center part being elevated, it means you can get some ventilation on this side of your back. And now for the final part, let's talk about the hip belt, which to add on, I quite like this actually. You just undo this Velcro and then you lift this up. Oh my God, that's so nice. Because so many of these, you have to just like shove it through, and it's the Velcro that has to connect. You're just cutting your hand, like bleeding the entire time. This is smooth, baby. Then you just go ahead and apply the hip belt, lock it into place with this guy right there, and then boom, that's a hip belt. That's just some rocks. Freaking awesome. The hip belt itself is pretty well padded, same ventilation as the back panel. And while it kind of looks lame, these pockets are so functional. I got really used to them on the Tortuga Travel Backpack Pro. It's got the little hip belt with the pockets there. God, whether it's your passport or your phone or just a little snack, it's just so convenient to have. And the hip belt as well is probably the most important part of the comfort of a travel backpack, because you're literally like attaching the weight to your waist. And so much of the weight ends up sitting here. Like sometimes, like you kind of like do one of those and the bag is like completely lifted off your shoulders and just on your waist. But what's sort of interesting about the hip belt is this sort of double webbing attachment they're doing. It's not one piece of webbing, it's two. So you can see right here, I'm gonna lift it a little higher than I would normally wear it just so it's viewable for the camera. But you can see, as opposed to one piece of nylon right there, you've got a top one and a bottom one on each side, which I don't really mind. Actually, it's kind of nice. I'm sure there's some ergonomic reasons why 6 Moon Design did that. But one thing I don't love is now we have, instead of 2 excess web holder dangle situations, we got 4, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4. And for me, I'm a skinny boy and I gotta tighten this thing up, and like there's a lot going on. And then they added these web holders, but it's almost weirder to use the web holders than to not. I don't know. I get that there's very little they can do about that, and they're trying to make it, you know, one size fits all. People with like, you know, a more girthy frame. So overall, I think the functionality of this hip belt is exceptional in terms of its comfort and innovation and access to these pockets, but the dangle situation, not my favorite. But now we gotta put this bag to the test. I'm gonna take it outside and wear it for 30 minutes and report back to you and let you know how comfortable it is. Aaron, 30 minutes from now, what's the consensus?
So overall, it's a pretty exceptionally comfortable travel backpack with one caveat. But let's start with the pros. Hip belt, awesome, well padded. The ability to adjust it and get it right to my body's fit is great. Sternum strap, helping a lot. The adjustable back panel harness system, plus the load lifters, it's like that trifecta. It's everything that you would want out of a larger travel bag, just to help kind of redistribute the weight, especially these waist pads. Because with these, a lot of the weight of the bag is now here, which is good, as opposed to here, which is bad. On the con side, I do wish the shoulder straps padding was a little less dense. That's just a personal preference. It's not bad, it's just, you know, my thing. But the most annoying thing about the comfort of this bag is just all this excess freaking dangle. It's everywhere, it's a dangle nightmare. It's not gonna annoy everyone the way it annoys me, but it's definitely one of my least favorite parts about the bag. All right, let's take it back up to the office to talk about the overall pros and the cons.
Pro number 1 is tons of innovative features. Pro number 2 is an incredibly comfortable and thorough harness system. And pro number 3 has got to be the bag's overall super impressive weather resistance. But I got some cons as well. Here they are. Con number 1, not the best laptop compartment. Con number 2, this bag's quite the dangle party. And con number 3 is that with all these features, the bag can be considered to have a bit of a complex user experience. But if you're still here and you're thinking to yourself, you know what, dude, for a sponsored video, that was actually a pretty fair and balanced review, and I also love that backpack, and I'm totally getting one. Just a reminder, if you're gonna make a purchase or want to find out more information, we do ask that you do so with the first link in the description below. Thank you very much. But you also might still be here because of the alternatives that I promised and teased in the first few moments of this review. So let's take it back over to the bag rack, where I'll make some other bag suggestions if you're not quite feeling this one. All right, so for my first alternative recommendation, it's going to be this guy right here, which is the Pakt travel backpack. This is a great option for you if you love all the features of the 6 Moon ADC travel bag, but you want something that has a little bit more of a modern aesthetic. It's a feature-heavy pack, it's got a great design, great user experience, and to learn more about it, you can check out our full review, which is linked in the description below. My next recommendation is gonna be this bag right over here, which is the Minaal Carry-On 3.0. This is for you if that review like kind of gave you like featured PTSD, just too much going on. You're like, dude, I just want something simple and streamlined. That's what this bag is. Very minimalist user experience. And like the only thing I can word to think of with this bag is just streamlined. It feels so awesome to use. And to find out why, take a look at the description below and you'll find a link to our full review. And for my third and final alternative recommendation, we're looking at this guy right here, which is the Tortuga Travel Backpack Pro. Great option for you if you're really drawn to that comfort of the 6 Moon ADC. This is one of the most comfortable large travel backpacks I've ever reviewed. Hip belt, load lifters, ventilation, amazingly padded shoulder straps, you name it, it's got it all. Much less features, but great on the comfort. And to find out why it's one of my favorite travel bags of all time, just watch this video right here. If you got any questions about any bags, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Aaron, this is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.